Hi, my name is Kellen Frankel, and I'll be presenting our Capstone project, Education and Life Skills by Kellen Frankel and Christopher Huerta. Our research question. Our research question is, can we as high school students provide an easy to access and understand source for other students to learn skills needed in adult life? According to a study done in 2019 on students in Larchmont Charter, over half of the class of 2021 believes that they are not prepared to enter adult life, as they have not been shown the necessary skills to survive in that environment. In this presentation, I'll highlight some of the issues with our current education system and offer a potential solution to the problem. Who are we? This is my partner, Chris Huerta. He's Chris. He's a senior at Larchmont Charter. He's been at Larchmont since he was in first grade and spends most of his time outside of school, hanging out with friends, and just really doing whatever, going with the flow. His hobbies are playing video games, guitar, looking at pictures of Garfield, and just messing around. He also likes to draw things sometimes, and he loves finding new music. And let me tell you, he makes the best playlists out of anyone I know. Trust me on this one. My name is Kellen Frankel. I'm also a senior at Larchmont Charter. I have a part-time job as a pickle salesman at Kalen and Hobbs Pickles, located at the original Farmers Market. On my spare time, I like to watch movies, write, draw superheroes, and drive around Los Angeles with my friends at night. That's me right there, doing my thing with a lightsaber. In this section, I'm going to talk about the problem that our presentation addresses, and share a few articles that also discuss it. I have come to learn that high school taught me nothing. In 2017, Lisa Marshall published an article with the title shown above. She discussed how she went to a prestigious school where they had incredible teachers and classes. They even wore blazers every day, so you know it was a really great school if they had fancy uniforms and everything. It's one of those. But despite everything, I was attending such an incredible establishment. Upon graduating, Lisa found that the high school that she attended taught her nothing of the real world. Lisa soon realized that she didn't know how to use Excel, how to do her taxes, how to negotiate salary, apply for a loan, or even what a GST even is. Speaking from my personal experience, I've never heard of a GST before reading this article, and to be honest, I still don't really know what it is. I didn't know that you could negotiate a salary like in an interview. I recently had my first interview a couple months ago for my first real job. I had no idea I could negotiate the salary. Didn't want to, I was fine with it, but I didn't even know that was an option. So all of this is crazy to me. Essential skills not taught in high school. In 2019, Ethan Schill gave a TED Talk presentation about how he doesn't feel prepared to graduate and enter adult life. Ethan explained how he witnessed his older brother graduate and immediately fall flat on his face as he was slapped with the cold, unforgiving reality that is adulthood. The two major aspects of adulthood Ethan focuses on are finance and cooking. Ethan's brother was never taught basic finance. He brought up the fact that many teenagers, such as his brother, have no idea where the money in their credit cards comes from, or how to budget their cash and pay for meals. This ignorance often results in debt and usually sticks around for 20 plus years. This leads to having to resort to buying cheap, unhealthy food, which segues into his next point, which was about graduates having no idea how to feed themselves. It's no secret that a healthy diet is pretty important. As kids, we can eat whatever we want and be fine. We have higher metabolisms, and in the end, our parents will feed us real food. Once you move out and live on your own, you don't have that support or a lifeline. Learning to provide yourself with a good meal is extremely important as an adult, and something students should be taught in high school before they leave home. I personally, I never thought about cooking as like one of those essential things before I watched this TED Talk. I have no idea how to cook. I once lit the oven on fire trying to make bacon. If it were my way, I'd be going out to eat every single night, getting McDonald's or having burgers every night. I never really thought about that. I have to figure out what it is that I can eat every night. How do I plan out what I'm going to eat for the week? So that's something that definitely should be taught somehow. Alright, in this section I'll be going over the conducted survey analysis. This includes the survey we did, the interview, and the field observation. First up is the survey. In 2019, as part of this class, I conducted a survey on my fellow classmates. For the survey, I developed questions that asked students about their standing on currently taking classes. They would like more offered, along with what they would want those classes to be and look like. Looking at the data, it's easy to say that the general consensus of our grade does not think they're ready to enter adult life. 76% of our classmates have no idea or not enough of an understanding to do their own taxes. 89.7% of students said that they don't believe their current curriculum is teaching them skills they'll need in life. In the same survey, students said they believe they would be better off if they were offered classes such as finance, basic computer skills, driver's ed, first aid, critical thinking, philosophy, self-defense, and auto repair. You can see some of these results down here. Stakeholder interview. Sadly, while I was planning for my interview, we entered the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result of the chaos, I was unable to schedule an interview with any of the candidates I had hoped for. Despite this, I came as close as I could. In early 2020, I sat in on Los Angeles Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez's online webinars teaching about finance and how to do well in an interview. It was really cool to see a city official taking an interest in something I was so passionate about. The webinars were about 2 hours long each, and they covered things such as how to fill out a W-4, how to write a cover letter, both skills that I think are incredibly important. I think the biggest benefit, however, was seeing someone so high up in the chain of command taking time to run the webinars. It gave me hope and ignited my passion I have for this project. It also taught me a thing or two about how to run an online lesson, which I also thought was really helpful. Due to the nature of our project, conducting a field observation before carrying out with our action plan was difficult. That, added with the sudden conflict of the COVID-19 pandemic, made it all even harder. In light of these events, I simply watched and analyzed a TED Talk given by a man named Ted Dintersmith. The next slides are the results. Why schools should teach for the real world, field observation. Husband and father Ted Dintersmith conducted an official study of his own, writing down the classes his children were taking in grade school. He separated these classes into two categories, one for classes that taught skills the kids would need later in life, and the second for classes he thought didn't really do that as much. After a week of monitoring, he was shocked to find that not a single one of the classes his kids were attending fell into the life skills category. While Ted believed that the classes were cool and taught niche skills such as advanced mathematics and biochemistry, he was troubled at the fact that none taught basic skills he couldn't see himself functioning in adult life without. Originally, I was actually hoping to schedule an interview with Ted Dintersmith. I reached out to his publisher, but I never heard anything back, unfortunately. In this section, I'm going to be going over our action plan and what we plan to do to fulfill our project. Teenagers aren't learning life skills, at home or at school. In 2019, Annabelle Toe published an article for the Dallas Post. In this article, she discusses her take on the recent boomerang generation, this being the latest generation of graduates that often have to return home after falling flat upon graduating. Later in the article, Annabelle discusses how the introduction of alternate classes could benefit students before graduating. By adding classes that teach concepts such as taxes, mortgages, insurance loans, voting, sexual health, and more, she believes that the number of graduates that return home due to failure to understand these adult concepts would plummet. I personally think this is exactly what I'm going for. I think it would be hugely beneficial to our generation and all the generations coming after us. Benefits of providing alternate education sources. In a study conducted by Dr. Magdala Battles for Lifehack, she found that providing children with an alternative source of education can be hugely beneficial. In this exact case, she was referring to allowing young kids to visit fun educational sites, but the same principle stands true for older children, such as high school students. In the study I conducted for Capstone in 2019, around 75% of students said that if they were offered an alternate education source to learn life skills, they would either definitely use it or strongly consider using it. This shows that the concept would prove effective. The action plan. After taking in all this data, we decided that the best course of action was to create a series of short educational videos that could teach these students the skills they need to go. Ideally, these would be on a full website with hundreds of videos and tutorials going over everything from taxes to child development. We are only high school students trying to balance our lives at the moment. Development of films. The great thing about these short films is how beneficial they can be, and how easy they were to film. By simply filming ourselves walking through the process of, say, dipsticking a car, we provide a great source of others to understand it. Reflection and challenges. Having been working on this for almost a year and a half, we can definitely say that more problems arise than solutions. First off, the biggest thing in my opinion was my catastrophic failure to understand what the end goal of my project should be. As Mr. Ehrlichman knows, it wasn't until the end of junior year that I understood, before that making wild accusations towards the education system, calling for a complete overhaul of it. Luckily, I was able to figure it out that wasn't the best way forward and alter my thinking. Another common issue was just logistics. Finding times to film, getting ourselves motivated to work on this, and dealing with Murphy's Law alone was difficult in itself. It took a while for us to really nail down what we wanted for this project, but in the end, it turned out alright. Thank you so much for watching my project. I'm sorry it's a little bit late, but I'm glad it turned out this way. I think I'm passionate about this subject, and honestly, I'd like to focus on it a little more later in life, maybe after high school, continue, see if I can do anything more with this. My sources are right here. Yeah, thank you so much.